Hello and welcome to episode 10 in the Farleigh Park build series. In today's episode we're going to do a bit of a tour because not only is it episode 10 as I said earlier, it's also been just over 3 years since I started building this park. So I thought do a quick park tour. We'll start with the updates and then we'll look at what hasn't changed. But yeah, I think we should get straight into it and we'll start down at the entrance plaza. So here we are at the park entrance. We're going to go straight over to the adventure area and we'll start the tour here so I can show you some updates. So yes, this is our adventure area. It is still unnamed. This is one of the 3 entrance portals. They all have a very similar style with the snake heads and the wooden boards with the name on it, apart from I think the one on the other side of the area. So yes, the first change is we've named some of the rides. So this is Helios. I really like this entrance portal design. You have the down arrows, it's a dive coaster as well as the sun. On the other side here we have Zephyr, which is our Gerstlauer Sky. And since the last episode I've gone in and done the queue line for this. I've also done the queue line for Oasis, which is our spinning coaster. So this is all now themed up with some nice shade, the priority pass, and it's all themed up, which I'm really happy with. It looks pretty nice in my opinion. Around here we have our unnamed Swift Drifters ride. I've put the canopy over it as well as some cool theming. Still don't know what I'm going to call it, but I want to try and incorporate some sort of like travelling into it. So like the tyres, the cans of petrol, all of that. Got some more theming with the truck out the back here. And you've got the operators carrying around the back there that needs theming up. Yeah, this is probably like the least finished ride in the area because the entire queue still needs doing. And it also needs naming. This building is a direct copy of that one, but I've done a few small changes to differentiate it. This is the Oasis station, so I've just done a few things on the side here, some detailing. Still got this bit here to do, as well as the interior, but apart from that, I'm quite happy with it. And yeah, the inside, it's all kind of, all the walls are in and stuff, but they need detailing. So yeah, this is quite a nice visual for when you go to enter the building from the queue line. And then finally we've got the restaurant over here, which is 2 stories, and it's got some nice shade canopies, a nice seating area up at the top, and the inside just has like the bare bones to hide everything, which still needs detailing and adding like restaurant stuff around it. Also needs a name. In terms of the area overall, we have 4 rides. You can kind of get a nice overview here. The kind of main maintenance areas around the back here. We've got all sorts of various bits of theming. We've got a truck, which is number 26. We've got the bins, all of that in there. And this is of course where they can offload the dive coaster trains onto a truck. There is also one of those for the spinning coaster, but because it's much smaller, they could probably fit onto one of these trucks instead of needing probably a very large lorry to get them out. Hence why I don't need as much space. You just back the lorry up into there, put them on and take it out. So continuing around the adventure area, there's a few shops here and there. You've got a nice June Delight here, there's a Pizza Pen and a Gulpy around here, so I've covered everything. The area toilets around the back here, again not finished, but I can't really do this section until I've figured out how the facade of the steampunk land is going to interact with this. So that's like the only part I'm leaving not finished for now, but all the fences and stuff are in with all the benches and the bins, so that's all done. Got a nice area signpost. I've been putting these in the areas that are quite a bit larger, so you can see this one actually is fairly big, so you might need a signpost to tell you which rides are kind of down that way, which ones are this way. And I've done something similar in Deadwood, our spooky area. There is one just here. Yeah, this one's also quite big. There's all of this as well as this little mini plaza up at the top for the dark ride. Also in Deadwood, I've got this new clock tower, which I thought is quite a nice addition to the middle there. I might add a few more things on the side here, but apart from that, I really like it. I think it's quite a nice build. I just wish I could change the gold colour of this clock face. Anyway, this is Deadwood, the spooky area. There's currently nothing in between the 2 lands, so I thought we'd just skip straight over here. Oh, this includes Raven's Wing, our B&M wing coaster. And I should mention that I'm pretty sure all the coasters that are in the park have their POVs from a video that I did last year. So you can see that on my channel. That's got a POV of every single coaster, including Raven's Wing, Helios, and Oasis, although those weren't named at the time. So if you want to see POVs of the rides, go watch that video. This is Raven's Wing. We've got a nice spooky queue line which is partially finished. I'm really happy with how the theming of this is coming together. Let's go over here, you'll see that the building around the back here for the maintenance area still needs working on. Got another van round here. This is another new addition. I've gone through and done the stuff around here. It's just adding in like bins, benches, bits of theming that they might be replacing, all those kind of things. Here we've got our van, this is number 7. But you can see around here we've got a bit more spooky theming in the queue line. This is one of the many extensions that I've added for this ride. You can see here's like a cut-off point. If you go around this way, this part of the queue still needs working on, but I've added a few elements like this nice archway. I have seen that this fence might need some adjustments. It can get quite low compared to where the Planko peeps are standing. For example, right here, it's very easy to hop the fence. So that needs working on. This is the coaster goes by there. Something else I've been working on is all the lights. I've been trying to make sure that they're actually visible instead of sinking them into the ground, just for some added realism. This top part here has also been worked on. I did a few nice bits of theming around here. Very happy with it, and you get a really nice view of the wing coaster just over there. Perfect timing, look at it go there. Very happy with that. So yeah, all this here is themed up. So really it's just the queue line now, and that's pretty much like a good half of the area all done. This ride still needs its queue theming up, and kind of the area around the side here. Yes, if you go up here, you can see that the Skyride entrance has actually moved, and that's because I realised that we needed a place to put all the Skyride gondolas when it wasn't in operation. So I've put these 3 building outlines in here, and yeah, that means I've had to move the entrance, which used to be, I think it was just here. So this is now just the Skyride exit, as said on this sign. Got a couple more shops down here, and the area toilets I think are also new for this update. They are in this nice spooky building just here. Very happy with that. Up by the Skyride, if you miss it, is going to be the restaurant in this area. Not every area has a restaurant, but there's a nice spot for one here. And yeah, the queue line for the dark ride will kind of weave through there. Once again, I'm not showing you anything of the dark ride just yet, so I want to keep that one spoiler free for now. So yeah, I've also put some bits of wood on there to help hide some of the default Planko stuff in there. This will be the entrance to the restaurant, and then you'll have a nice L-shaped building. So yes, you've got the dark ride just back there, outpost fireways around the side there, which is where we're going to head to next. After I just show you, this is going to be another not dark ride, a scare maze. I just realised I just missed it. There is another one that I've put in the basic infrastructure for, in the what's going to be a Viking land. So you've got the fake, what will be a fake queue line, and then like fake real exit, which will be there, and then emergency exit. So I guess with the maze you have the preacher there, and you basically gotta go this way. That'll be the halfway point, and you kind of work your way back around. Moving on from the Viking area, because there's nothing else there, back to this scare maze. You can see that the queue line over here is like half done. There's still a few bits around here that I just need to add some more of the bushes and the rocks to, just to add to the spooky vibe, but it is mostly done. Of course, you've got the batching area at the end here, and then this will be where you enter into the maze itself. And I have the run out here, and then an emergency exit just there. And of course, the guests can't access this at all, but it's like for realism stuff. Moving on out of Deadwood, we have Outpost 5, which I'm keeping spoiler free for now, but I can show you some parts of it. Here we have ourselves our enterprise called Project Collider, which I'm really happy with all the stuff there, as well as Shadow, gotta get the names right here, which is our Huss topspin. Put it in a pit, which I think works pretty nicely because then the view from up here is quite good, and then of course it's quite a tall ride when it's all the way up there, so I thought that can hide it a bit. You got Phantom around the back here, which I want to zoom out a bit of because I don't want to spoil too much of what's going on in these buildings, because yeah, I'm quite happy with how that's coming along. But this is our B&M inverted coaster. It goes through the terrain. You can see kind of the first half, and then after that it just disappears into the forest, which is something that I think is pretty cool. Yeah, you've got the station there, the maintenance building, all the realism that you would need, and it actually shares a maintenance zone with Shipwrecked, which is in our pirate land. So you've got some pirate stuff, some of the Outpost 5 stuff here kind of being replaced. You've got truck number 2 carrying away some bits of theming, and then you've got the forklift trucks and bins and stuff. So yeah, I've also put a sign here telling you what the area is for, which I need to go around and put in a few other ones. And yeah, then we actually get to Buccaneers Bay, which is home to Shipwrecked and the pirate ship. Yes, I know they both have ship in their name, but it's cool, it's pirates. Here we have quite a few shops, including this nice covered seating area with an ice cream shop. Really happy with how this has turned out. Definitely one of the more piece intensive areas of the park. Got our information booth, which I am trying to theme to each area. Here in the pirate line it's called the Harbour Master, which I thought makes sense. Quickly show you the one in the Spooky Land, because I'm quite happy with this one. I've called it Ghost Services. And then if we go to Outpost 5, it's called Queries, which kind of fits the whole abandoned military base vibe I'm going for there. We've also got our Snack Shack, which has a few food units in there. And yes, the pirate ship around the back here. So you've got the queue line here on the ride itself, which kind of goes out over the water with this nice waterfall around the back. It also has the emergency exit from the second launch of Shipwrecked in case there's any ever problems. That doesn't make sense. In case there are any problems and it gets stuck on the launch, they've got to evacuate. I've done this around the entire park, just making sure that there are ways for guests to kind of get off all the various lift hills and stuff in those cases. You can see here they basically climb up the stairs and use the pirate ship exit to get off there. In terms of Shipwrecked, which is our Mac multi-launch coaster here in the area, got a very long queue that goes all the way out into the ride area. Remember, it used to loop around this way and I thought that's not long enough, so I added this entire another section. And yeah, fairly smooth coaster by Planet Coaster 1 standards. Now we've got Planet Coaster 2, it looks really rough. But we've got the castle around the back here. It's got a ton of special effects. You'll see with this one coming around here. As it goes into this valley, we have some water that splashes up behind the coaster, which I'm really happy about. So yeah, that is Buccaneers Bay. I'll just hop in our gift shop here. So I did a few cool things. You got like the postcards, the pin badges, plushies, board games, Lego sets, and then I tried to find some themed items you could put on here. Like handcrafted ones. I'll probably reuse them in the Viking Land. I've also got wheelchair access to any rides that need them. So for example, this ride here does have some long ramps in the queue line, especially inside this building here. So I have gone in to here and added like a wheelchair access point, which is just a much simpler ramp to get there. I've got the old flume signs around the back here, because this would have been an old log flumes queue line, and this would have been like the entrance building. So you have like a 30-minute wait, and I can imagine that the queue kind of went out this way and back. And there you have 5 minutes. Got a couple of old newspapers, somewhere there's some like cola bottles and stuff. So yeah, really going with the realism there. Maybe it's some wasted piece, but I think it looks pretty cool. Moving on, we have Farleigh Grove, which I have actually removed the signs up at the top. I didn't really like them. So yeah, this is our nice little restaurant down here in this valley. This actually would have been the old park entrance, and this would have been the car park in our kids' land. And basically this would have been a nice photo opportunity with probably a large sign, and it would have split off with one path going that way, one path going the other way. And the story that I'm kind of working on is that it kind of surrounded the car park so much that they basically built a new one, new entrance, and put a new themed land in there, which we'll get to shortly. As next up in our tour, we are in Storm Valley, which is our western themed land, home to 2 rides, the Runaway Train and Whirlwind. So we've got our kids flat ride here, which I've spent a very long time doing all these facades around the side for, to try and make it feel a bit more like a western town. And then on the other side we have the Runaway Train, which features probably the longest queue line in the park at the moment, or the longest finished queue line. The Hypercoaster's queue is absolutely enormous, and this thing does still fill up when I open the park. Got the cave section here, which has like a bunch of supporting beams. And then you come around here, you go through this, was like a little office. You go into here, and you got the Storm Valley Mining Company. That has changed. It used to be like as a train station, but I've changed the story now, so it's like a mining cart thing that's kind of gone crazy. And it explores all around where they've been mining. So there's some tunnels, there are some indoor sections. I don't know if I've shown it in an episode, but I have extended the layout. This used to go straight there. There's now a new helix there. There's also a new helix right here. And yeah, there's a ton of like support beams in the mines here. There it goes. So yeah, that's extended quite a bit. A lot going on there now. So yeah, that is our western land. Really happy with it. I really like the train in the middle here, as well as all the various ambient sounds I've added. And now we're into Main Street. So lots of buildings here. I'm trying to go for like a mini Epcot where it's like a bunch of different country themed buildings. So here you have like a Parisian style building, and here you have your order collect areas. We have also the Japanese style sushi place. This is the gift shop. Not really any style, I just kind of threw a ton of pieces together and got this. They also have like a nice display here. We've got the Fortress Memento counters, but I'll be adding loads of gift shop stuff. I really wish we had the Planet Coaster 2 gift shops here. I know these outlines here are also new from the last episode. I've added those in just to make it look a bit nicer. And yeah, it's probably one of my favourite buildings in the entire park. There's also a new entrance, if I can get the camera there, to the Wave Swinger, which I really like. And yeah, this has all the various realism stuff. Moving around the entrance, there is some signposts and some nice flowers. Obviously the Wave Swinger itself in the middle, and the other end of the sky ride, which still needs detailing. There is a little water counter here. If you go around here, we have a German, Bavarian style building and a more African style building. These are using the World's Fair pack. Yeah, this is just another June Delight. Now moving into the gardens, which is a family friendly land in the park. Although the Viking land will also be something similar. We'll start round this side of the gardens where we have the log flume. Again, it has some custom wait time boards. And we also have the garden racetrack, which has the nice flag and some nice racing theming inside the station, which I really like. I put the "Let's lights out and away they go" message out there, just for a bit of fun. We also have, I skipped past it earlier, probably the stupidest ride I've ever come out with. Well, we've got Octospin with a very weird looking octopus here, and it's quite funny. But yeah, something I will mention is that the flower colours around the rides are kind of themed in a bit. So around here we've mostly got purple, blue and red flowers. Around the log flume it's like different shades of blue. And if we go around to this ride, which is called Ladybird, lots of red flowers. Around here you've got Sunflower Storm, which has a ton of sunflowers, as you'd expect. I've also got another one of those area specific navigational points. So this has the 4 rides that aren't like obviously visible from when you get to that point. So Sunflower Storm is quite easy, and this is Ladybird, but the rest of them, oh, and I should send a Octospin as well, but then the other 4 rides are kind of easy to know where to go. Around here we have our family coaster, Grove Explorer. Really happy with this one, I absolutely love the layout. Finally we have the Farleigh Wheel, which has quite a funky entrance sign here. And a pretty short queue. It could probably be shorter than this actually. Almost no one ever rides it, but I think it's got quite a nice viewpoint. If we just pause it, we can figure out the vantage point from up here. You get a pretty decent view from up at the top here. I don't understand why there's like no one riding it whenever I open the park. So that is the gardens, and finally, we just kind of skip over it. We have our City Street Land, which again isn't named. Lots of buildings here. I have named our pub, which is going to be called the Bull and Crown. I thought it was quite a pub name, so I've done that. Anyway, I got the Farleigh Flyer. There is a small change to that, which I'll just hop back here to show you. I've gone and changed it all to the nice plaster colour, and I'm slowly adding more of these arrows around the side, just to kind of add a bit more theming to this ride, because yeah, it's got one of my favourite stations in the entire park. Really happy with that one. So I think that is pretty much the park. In terms of what's still to come, obviously we've got the Viking Land up there, the Dark Ride, that's been worked on the Spooky Land. As I said, the Adventureland is really close to being finished now, so hopefully in the next episode I'll have that one and the Spooky Land done / close to being done. They'll be very, very close anyway. This is going to be our Steampunk Land. I've only put in the pathing for now, but I think that I'm probably going to build the Viking one first before doing this. Of course, we've got the hotel around the back here. Massive hotel with its own car park. I should probably show you around the car park. There we get in here. Got the welcome sign, we've got all the various roads. This is the main car park, very large. I think the rule is it should be around half the size of the park. I think if you combine all of them, it pretty much is. There are 2 staff car parks. We have this one here and that one there. We have our accessible car park with some of the larger spaces. This would be our coach park. The delivery office, and there's something I have changed. I need to add a few more here, but I realised the supports looked a bit stupid, so I've basically put these pieces of track on pallets, although that one doesn't quite meet it there. And the idea is that they're basically chopping the ends off the track to then sell to enthusiasts, because you can make some money off of it. And you also got some signs that are probably being auctioned off, containers, generators, parking machines, lots of cones, all sorts of stuff is around here. That is pretty much the entire park as it stands. I would like to finish it by the end of next year if possible. Something I've been working on behind the scenes is like a full park timeline, like when rides were added, when they were removed. So that is going to be it for this episode of Farleigh Park. I hope you enjoyed my, well, I say brief, I've been recording for nearly half an hour now, so maybe not a brief tour. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. As I said, subscribe if you want to see more, like the video if you enjoyed the tour, and I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.